So, native Mars in Gemini, you have Mars, which is the planet of sexuality, of action, of anger, of how that manifests, meets this flighty, changeable, talkative sign of Gemini. And how does that interchange? So, if you're native Mars in Gemini, this video applies to you. What I think of when I think of Mars in Gemini is people who have the gift of the gab. Geminis use words to get what they want, and they are damn good at it. They're good salespeople. They know how to spin things, how to sell things, how to convince you to get on their side. That is how they get their way. And it's a very flighty, kind of sounds bad, but their energy is best directed when there is a lot going on. They aren't so interested in getting very deep. They just like to know everything and be everywhere. So they do the best when there's a gazillion things happening in their life. If things get quiet, their energy levels actually go down. But if there's a million things, they love to circle between projects because that's how they get their energy, is like talking to a bunch of people. They just have these active minds. Sometimes it can be unfocused because they're so curious about everything, but they can also thrive in places that they couldn't always. Very quick mind, and with sexuality, since Mars is also how it manifests in the bedroom, they are very into dirty talk and talking, and that's how you can like come and capture their erotic mind. Erotic literature, talking to them in bed is something that they're very, very drawn to. Since Gemini is all about talking, they're big on like the sexting, oh, what are you gonna do to me? All of that. They love the details and talking through it, and they really excel in that arena. I recommend, if you are a Mars in Gemini native, maybe pick up like an instrument or a video game or a puzzle, because Gemini does rule the hands, and it's good for you all to stay busy more than any other sign. I would say take on things and try to keep your active mind busy, because that's the best output that it's going to get. So very skilled with instruments, anything that has to do with the hands. Writers, because guys know how to talk and know how to spin words, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. When it comes to anger, I wouldn't personally want to get in an argument with Mars and Gemini, because they probably can poke the holes at exactly what will get to you. They know how to spin things. But they're going to get over things really quickly, because Gemini, as I mentioned, like doesn't go that deep with anything, so it's not going to be a unfettered, like this deep, burning anger like you might get with like Mars and Scorpio. It's just going to kind of maybe like say it, like, that really pissed me off, and then kind of get over it. The world is, to Gemini, the world is so large. Why waste time being so mad at one thing or being so invested in one thing? So with Mars and Gemini, like, it applies to kind of sexual relations too. They might not be so interested in commitment just because there's so much out there. Casual sex may appeal to them because they're very, very curious, and their energy does best when it is spread around. I would recommend, if you're dating one, to definitely keep their interest via intellectual debates and questions that interest their mind. Try to keep them mentally stimulated. If you can get them here, you can get all of them. Just make sure to keep things interesting and don't talk too much about yourself, because that will probably bore them. They need excitement. So keep them excited. Maybe play some mind games with them, which sounds a little messed up, but if anyone's going to do it, it's Gemini. They kind of love it. It's interesting to them. And if you don't believe me, date a Gemini and see the games that they they play, because it's interesting to them. So I would say, if there's any sign that you're going to do that with, it would be them. And the key word in this is that they have these active, brilliant minds. I love the energy. I love debating with the energy. They are so naturally intelligent. Gemini is, I would consider, the most intelligent sign. So the debates with Mars and Gemini are very, very interesting. A lot of good debaters do have Mars and Gemini. So thank you, and have a wonderful cosmic week.